This is the RTI Vehicle Mounting System Kit from G-Code. It comes with a whole bunch of things that we're going to take a look at, and it does require that you already have an RTI hanger attached to the holster of your choice. Now the RTI hanger, of course, they will attach to a wide variety of G-Code holsters. The Synchron for sure, the Prime Carry, the new one, certainly some of their other holsters that have higher levels of retention, level 2 and level 3 retention holsters, and also the Paradigm. So if you were going to potentially use multiple firearms inside of whatever you're going to put in your vehicle mounting holster system, then that Paradigm with the small to medium or the medium to large might be a great option for you. Very easy to attach the RTI hanger. Let's take a look and see how we will attach the RTI device and the mounting kit actually to the vehicle. Now, certainly there is the option when you're talking about a hard point, if you wanted to simply secure this entire system to this permanently, you could do that with screws. Obviously you need to reinforce it. You wouldn't want it just there on the plastic, but a great way to do it with obviously less impact on your vehicle is going to be with the hook and loop fastener that comes with the kit. Now, one thing I'm going to do here is suggest that you give this a good wipe down, either just with some rubbing alcohol, maybe acetone. You want to degrease that, make sure that that's cleaned up, and then make sure that it is dry, right? So we're going to make sure that that is to the touch, it's definitely dry. Wipe it down, let it evaporate, give it some time, and then we're going to come in and attach the soft side, the loop side of the hook and loop fastener. And in this case, with this particular vehicle design, you can see that there's an airbag, the knee airbag, I guess it is down there, the shin airbag. That airbag has an obvious seam right there, and we're going to mount this vertically so that I am completely to the side. Now, there is a screw here to remove that panel. It would be easy enough if you needed to come back later and just cut a little slit in this so you could get to that screw if there was some maintenance that needed to be done. Now, one thing I will recommend is that you not cover up any kind of vent sensor. If this is there for temperature, it may be there for other reasons. You want to be able to make sure that the airflow is still going to get through that. And you want to make sure that you test your location. So in other words, I could have chosen to put this here on the center console. I could have put it maybe on the far side of the center console. Maybe I want to put it further back. You want to think about how you're going to move the seat. Maybe if you have multiple drivers, the seat may need to adjust, so I wouldn't want to put it too far back. I tend to maybe leave my leg over here a little bit more often when I'm doing long drives, so I didn't want to put it over here on the center console in a vehicle like this. I've got it up here under the dash. When you're mounting the actual RTI device onto the loop side, the hard side of the hook and loop fastener plate, you want to be able to choose whatever angle you want, obviously to match with the angle at which you're going to place this for maximum coverage. You also then are going to think about the angle that you want the holster to be mounted at. As you can see, there are multiple options there for the angle and the rotation. And then we're going to attach the holster to the device and then push the lock through. Now this is secure to the plate. Obviously I could, gorilla rip this off if I wanted to, but just in a normal course of action, it's probably not going to go anywhere. At this point, when I get in the vehicle, I'm going to be going for a long drive. I want to put the firearm into the holster without covering myself. I'm going to move parallel with my thigh, make sure my foot's out of the way, and then place the firearm into the holster there. You want to think about the angle at which you're most likely to want to draw the gun to be as efficient as possible. Now, the main reason that you would hard point this obviously would be for comfort. If you want to be able to take off that holster, you don't want the inside the waistband, you're going to be doing a long drive. You could, of course, have an outside the waistband setup, in this case, a belt slide with an RTI fastener, which would allow you to go from your vehicle mounting point here. We can remove the holster itself with the RTI hanger, and then I could go to a belt slide or any kind of belt attachment and actually use this holster as well. Get out of the vehicle, I've got my firearm on. When I get in the vehicle, I would disconnect the entire holster, not have to expose the trigger or anything else, and then come right here and mount that. And maybe I'm moving it from where I keep it in my home to where I keep it in my vehicle. Maybe I'm going to be, working, out on my property, something like that. I'm open carrying out there, but then I get in the vehicle, I'm going to be driving around for whatever reason, or I'll be sitting in the vehicle for an extended period of time. Not only is it more comfortable, it also may be far more accessible for some people, depending on how your seats and your configuration, your body type, your range of motion, your shoulder movement, all of that. It may be far better to have it here. Of course, the idea isn't that I'm going to be driving and draw the gun out and shooting, but if I were to come to a stop and park and I realized I was being attacked by someone here, it might be much faster for me to reach down and deploy a firearm from a holster that's out in the open than it would be for me to dig under coats or have to move in my seat, reach back behind me, seat belted, all those things. So there are a lot of good reasons for wanting to do a hard point. Of course, in all cases, we want to make sure that it is in your immediate accessible area. If it's going to be a loaded firearm you're intending to use for defensive purposes, we don't want other people in the vehicle to have easier access to it than you do. You also need to be sensitive to the idea that you don't want to leave an unattended gun in something like an open holster that's not secured. Somebody can just break a window, grab your gun. That would be irresponsible. You wouldn't want that to happen. And of course, you want to think about the fact that if you had a very low slung sports car or some kind of like a convertible low slung two-seater, having a firearm in the open like this and driving through the town, somebody walking down the street can look in and see it. Should that cause them alarm? Probably not, but we know that in the real world it might, and that could cause you headaches as well. So you want to think about those considerations when you're getting ready to mount a G-code RTI vehicle system for whatever holster you choose. It can be a great solution for access to a firearm inside of a vehicle that's far more comfortable than wearing it on your body in a lot of cases.